Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're doing two NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Friday, December 8th. Before we get started, you guys take a look in the description below of this video. Hop into our premium Discord. Again, super positive community in there. Everyone just trying to help each other cash. It's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We also have other premium cappers in there as well. They post all of their plays, research, and analysis. Again, super positive community. All the members just posting their plays, their reasoning, what they're liking for the day. Link in the description below for that. I also want to mention I'm not a gambling expert and this is not financial advice. These are simply plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. We got a Friday massive NBA slate today. Obviously the in-season tournament games have been super fun to watch, but it's been opening up a ton of huge NBA slates, and again a ton of injury things going on overall. But I got two plays that I am liking for this slate. Let's not waste any time, you guys. Let's just get right into it. I'm getting this video out a little bit later as I would have liked, but nonetheless, two plays. Let's get it. So the first play is gonna be Chet Holmgren over 35.5 fantasy. We look at Chet, and he's kind of had a last two or three games or so hasn't played that well, but we'll get into that in a second. But looking at this matchup, 230. What is this? I just saw it. 236.5 over under. It is a home game for OKC, 3-point spread. So out of all the games today, this is one of the games where it has such a higher spread and a close spread, higher over under. There are some games here that just look like absolute blowout spots. But again, the NBA, you really honestly never know what's going to happen with these games. But we'll look at Chet Holmgren. His fantasy score game log this season, okay? 35.5, we need 36. He's gone over this in, essentially more games than he's gone under this line. And really, when he plays 30-plus minutes, this is pretty close to, hitting his lowest fantasy score game this season is 22.3. But we look at his last few games here. He just faced the Houston Rockets on the road, had 33 fantasy, scored 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, had 6 blocks in that one. So Chet Holmgren, his fantasy score line is always appetizing only because his defensive prowess, right, is able to impact the game defensively. He scored 4 points and finished with 33 fantasy points in that one. And kind of since I think Jalen Williams has come back and been in the rotation, it's kind of not limited, but it's kind of, he's taken a somewhat of impact on Chet Holmgren's minutes-wise. But I'm expecting Chet in this game to play 30-plus minutes in what should be a close matchup, and he's really just dominated the Warriors in 3 games. This is actually going to be the 4th time he's played the Warriors. He played the Warriors 3 times in the month of November, right? He had 45.1 fantasy in 32 minutes and took 9 field goal attempts, had 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. 24, 8, and 5, just smashed the over 45. He had 30 fantasy points in 27 minutes, which was a blowout. I don't even think Shea played 30 minutes in this one. Yeah, Shea played under 30 and still finished with 30 fantasy points, 13, 10, and 2 blocks. Had 4 turnovers in that one. And then he had debatably his best game of the year. I don't think, maybe Shea missed this one. I don't know. Shea played in this one. Just the absolute shootout, the 130 to 123. Had 36, 10, 5, 2, and 2, 4 turnovers, 63.5 fantasy. So he's played extremely well so far this season against the Golden State Warriors. And the Golden State all season long, even dating back to last season, have just kind of been getting dominated by centers and bigs. We look over on Outlier. Again, there's a link in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. This is a sports betting tool that I do use every single day. The odds for this line, his fantasy score, the odds that correlate to his fantasy score, he's over 2.5 steals plus blocks, minus 179 over on Caesars. My over 1.5 blocks, minus 199. So again, Vegas giving him heavy odds to give us, at least 3 stocks tonight, which again, that's 9 fantasy points just right there alone. He's also minus 135, minus 139, minus 140 to go over 7.5 rebounds, over 19.5 PA, minus 111. So pretty even odds, minus 115 to go over 27.5 PRA. But again, we don't need Chet to necessarily have 27.5 PRA for him to clear this fantasy score line of 35.5. Again, like I said, his defensive impact is really why I like his fantasy score line compared to his PRA or his, any other line for Chet. This season, he is averaging 1.34 fantasy points per minute. You do the math, even if he plays like 28, 29 minutes tonight, 1.34 fantasy points per minute is enough for him to hit the over on this line. And again, like the Golden State Warriors, you can see here, allowing the 8th most fantasy points to centers. We look at just centers game log this season versus the Warriors. This is just some recent games. Like Duop Reith played 22 minutes, had 26.2. Thies and Zubac both had 25 plus. Zubac here 36.6, Sabonis 35.6, Sengun 56.1, Gobert 34.6, Towns and Gobert here 42 plus, Karl-Anthony Towns 50, Jokic 67, Isaiah Stewart 36. So again, all season long, Warriors just kind of been getting dominated by bigs. I mean, this is just in the month. This is just in recent. I think this is like the recent 20 games or so, or 15 games or so. And Chet, all of his numbers go up at home. He plays much better at home. You can see the splits. He averages 18.5 points at home compared to 15.3 on the road. Averages more steals, similar blocks, but again, just plays a lot better at home. Takes more field goal attempts, more 3-point attempts. Again, Chet at home, he's played extremely well at home. We look at his fantasy score game log this season. Would do this at home. And aside from, obviously Golden State being just an elite matchup for him, he has gone over this line in 7 of 10 games at home. So I like this spot for Chet a lot. Obviously, just proving that he's been able to dominate the Warriors. So yeah, Chet Holmgren over 35.5 fantasy is going to be the first play in what hopefully is a close game. The second play is going to be the other rookie, right? The other essential unicorn in the NBA. It's going to be Victor Wembanyama over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. Now, this has actually been pretty profitable for us. I've given Victor RA a few times now in the premium Discord. And we look at the odds over on Outlier again. He's over this line in 7 of his last 10 games. Current odds, I'm going to refresh this actually, just in case these lines have moved at all. And I definitely think this could be at 13 by the time this game tips off. He's currently minus 132 on FanDuel, minus 130 on BetMGM to go over this line. And he is over in 7 of his last 10 games. So really getting acclimated, really getting a feel for the game. Definitely being able to pass the ball as well, racking up these assists, which is why I like RA here. But we look at his rebounds plus assists game log this season when he plays 31 plus minutes, right? And then we filter this to when he's gone over this line. He's gone over this line in every single game this season at home when he plays 31 plus minutes. 13 versus Minnesota, 13 versus Toronto, 17 versus Memphis, 18 versus Miami, and 18 versus the Clippers. Okay, so he's gone over this line in every single home game this season when he plays 31 plus minutes. And like I said, he's gone over this line in 7 of his last 10 home and away combined. But we look at Victor, his last 5 games at home, he's averaging 5 potential assists, 2 assists per game, as well as 15 potential rebounding chances, averaging 12 rebounds per game. And it's a super strong matchup against the Bulls. The Bulls, you can see here, allowing the second most rebounds to the power forward position on the year. They're also allowing a pretty decent amount of assists, 4.6 assists per game to the power forward position as well. I mean, Victor wins Zach Collins in the game to start the game. He plays power forward. He also subs in, plays a little bit of some center as well. I mean, dude's 7'3", whatever. So, I mean, it's not really going to make an impact depending on which role he's specifically playing on offense and defense. But we look at rebounds. We look at centers, right? Let's just do centers first. Rebounds plus assists game log this season versus the Bulls. You can see the amount of guys that have been able to clear this line. We're looking at just 13 here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different guys have been able to clear this line. Centers, rebounds plus assists versus the Bulls. We look at forwards as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 different guys have been able to clear this line versus the Bulls. I mean, Chet Holmgren, a very similar build type player, 13-2 versus the Bulls in 32 minutes, 15 RA. I just think this line's a little bit too low for Victor, who has been playing well, has been smashing this line 7 of his last 10. Great odds for us as well. Currently minus 132 on FanDuel. These are 2 plays for this YouTube video. Both these rookies, both these stud rookies, I guess you could say, unicorns, whatever you guys want to call them, aliens. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about these 2 plays. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.